Timers! It's your favorite story timer, Annie! And one of her best pals, Doinar. And today, we're going to be getting back into the wonderful world of Shadow Jumper by J.M. Forster. Now, last time, we left off on the part where Jack and Beth were wondering what happened because their bus got off course. Now, go to page 49 and let's begin. We're going to start on what's happened, which is what Beth asks. So, what's happened? Asked Beth. Something ran out in front of the bus, said the driver, shakily. Not sure what it was, nothing out there now. I'll need to radio in and report it. And we've got a puncture too. He climbed up the steps to the bus. Jack watched him inside, waving his hands around wildly while talking to one of the other passengers. Let's go and have a look, said Beth. Why do you want to do that? Jack asked in horror. Oh, come on. Whatever it is, it might not be dead. We may be able to help it. Anyway, if I want to go into medicine when I'm older, I'll need to get used to that kind of thing. Jack looked at her in amazement. He couldn't believe she already knew what she wanted to do with her life. He hadn't given his own future much thought. That's interesting. I want to be an author when I grow up. What about you? If you didn't want to know what you want to be when you grow up, then you can like and subscribe to Anytime Storytime for more awesome content. It's why I always keep a first aid kit, she continued. A good job, too, traveling with you. And if you have this book at home, why not go grab it so we can read together? Jack followed half-heartedly. He really didn't want to search for a wounded animal, and he didn't share Beth's fascination with blood and injury. He had enough of his own injuries to cope with, but he wasn't about to leave her to wander off on her own in the dark, so he switched on his torch, and they set off in the direction the driver had come from. The thin shaft of light didn't illuminate much apart from a strip of tarmac directly in front of them. No traffic passed them as they walked. The air was silent and heavy, and the smell of burnt rubber still lingered. The only sounds Jack heard were the scrunch of their shoes on the road and the faint babble coming from their fellow passengers on the bus. A thin film of moisture had formed above his top lip. He wiped it off with his sleeve. The further from the bus they walked, the more nervous he became, and he didn't understand why. I've walked in the dark before. Sometimes it's not fun, especially when I have to take the trash out. We'll never find it, he said after a minute of fruitless searching. Let's go back. Wait, what's that? Beth pointed to the side of the road a few meters away. A lump which from a distance looked like an old sack lay beside the grass verge. They drew nearer. In the pit glow of the torch's beam, Jack could now make out the body of an animal, its coat matted with blood, tongue protruding from the corner of its mouth. One of its front legs was twisted into an impossible shape, the bone poking through the surface of the skin. Jack's throat constricted as he fought a sudden queasiness. It was a dead Labrador. He moved closer still and saw that patches of hair were missing. The bald areas were covered with red blisters. An icy chill spread through Jack's body. Okay, the dog had been run over, but something else had caused those hideous sores. Now, let's go to chapter 8. Keep in mind this Labrador is really important for later. Who would let a dog get into such a state? Beth spat the words out in anger, and let it out on the road. Jack bent to look more closely at the wounds, and immediately wished he hadn't. His stomach did several somersaults, and a nasty taste rose up in his mouth. He swallowed quickly and stepped away again. The torch trembled in his hand. Why does its body have so many sores? They look like burns. There's a name tag. Beth stooped and gently brushed the dog's fur from around its collar. She took the torch from Jack. Rex, she said. Wait, there's something else. A telephone number. I can barely read it. 45423. I think the last one's a 2 or a 5. She stood up again. Let's go back. This is giving me the creeps. Jack couldn't agree more. He shivered. Something troubled him about the dog, but for the moment, he couldn't quite put his finger on what it was. I'm afraid this bus won't be going any farther, folks, the driver was saying when they returned. The replacement will take an hour or so to get here, so you can either make yourselves comfortable and wait, or make your own arrangements. Groans came from a few of the passengers, and a general hum of conversation began as people decided what to do. The driver moved through the bus, checking everyone was unharmed and answering questions. "This is so boring," said Beth. "Do you know the way to your aunt's house from here?" Jack nodded and then realized what Beth was getting at. "You want to walk? It's pitch black out there." "You've got a torch. It can't be that difficult. Is it far?" Jack shook his head. "Well, if you're sure, but don't say I didn't warn you." They slipped off the bus while the driver was preoccupied with a tearful old man, and they were soon jogging in the direction of Colford. After 20 minutes, Jack caught sight of the lights of the town twinkling in the distance. He stopped by a sign for a public footpath. "It's going to get tough from now on," he said. "We've got to go cross country." "You mean this isn't tough?" panted Beth as she staggered up to the stile where Jack stood. "I thought you said it wasn't far." "It's not." Jack bit his lip, a snort of laughter threatening to burst from him. "It's always more difficult walking in the dark." "It wouldn't be half as bad if you didn't keep waving that torch around instead of keeping it still. Then I'd know where to put my feet." She muttered something that sounded like "mad boy" under her breath as she heaved herself over the stile. A few minutes passed in silence as they concentrated on placing one foot in front of the other on the track, skirting the field. The grass rustled under their feet, disturbing the stillness of the air. A snap to his right caused Jack to stop in his tracks. Beth cannoned into him. Despite the muggy heat, a chill spread along his arms, making the little hair stand to attention. "Did you hear that?" he croaked. "A noise from over there." He swung his torch towards the trees. "Something's moving about." "What do you think it is?" "I'm going to read page 55, and I think we're going to stop here." There was a cracking sound. It came from the path ahead. Beth seized the torch and pointed it along the track. "What is it? You're spooking me out." Jack's voice wobbled. He peered into the blackness. Two shapes floated across the path. They disappeared into the trees. "Some kind of animal." Beth handed the torch back to him. "Chill, it's probably a deer. It's not like anything else is going to be out here, is it?" Jack gave a nervous chuckle. Nighttime noises didn't normally bother him, especially as he spent so much time traipsing around in the dark. He had to pull himself together. Finding the dead dog had unnerved him, and like Beth said, only animals would be around at the time of night. But Jack continued to feel uneasy. Every snap of a twig, every rustle in the undergrowth, brought him out in a cold sweat. He wanted to get to Aunt Lil's. He quickened his pace. After half an hour, he reached a gap in some tall wooden fence panels. It twisted between two houses, a tunnel of blackness. Jack stopped and swung the torch into the darkness, not sure if it was the right footpath. For the first time, he realized how still the air had become. No sound apart from the swish of his sleeve against his side. And that's where we're going to stop today. Page 55. At the end of page 55. So, what do you think? I think that Jack and Beth are easily going to be able to find the neighborhood. That's how books usually always go. Also, it's really interesting that Beth already knows what she wants to do with her life. Sometimes it's really difficult for people to figure out what they want to be when they grow up. But since Beth is around my age, she probably already has plans. Like how I want to be an author when I grow up. So this seems to be the end. Tune in next time for more awesome adventures of Anytime Storytime and her interesting pal, Doiner. Goodbye, guys!